Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Andrew. So, how do we fix entitlement on social medias? If you want the quick answer within this next 10 seconds, I don't think we can. I know that sounds depressing, but I think it's too far gone. Now, as I said in my last video, other than this YouTube channel, which I've only done recently, I have never had social media. I didn't have MySpace, even though it was popular, Facebook when it came in, Instagram, Twitter, whatever else. I've never had an account on any of them. I'm an alien in that sense. I'm a very rare breed of person, I get it. I am going to be talking more about social media in general because I think there are some very negative things that happen because of social media in this world, and I do want to talk about that in a series on its own. This is specifically talking about entitlement within and it being created from or amplified by social media. So like I said, there are a lot of negatives to social media. Now, as I just said, I have never had it, and miraculously, I survived. So, if you're worried about the amount of entitlement you have based on being on social media, I mean, the obvious answer is get off it. I know that's an extreme idea. I know most people probably can't. I was reading that some people, a couple of studies are being run right now, I believe, actually, looking at whether social media is as addictive as, say, like illegal drugs like cocaine. I could see for some people that it would be, quite honestly. I get that positive reinforcement can be a great drug, and I'm sure some people are very addicted to it. Generally, unfortunately, if you're entitled, you're not going to care, and you're just going to be on it, and you're going to be soaking it up, and that will just bleed into all aspects of your life. But if it's too extreme for me to say, well, get off it completely, fair enough. I get that that's an extreme position. Maybe what you should do is just limit your exposure every day. I think most people are on it way too long every day. A lot of people complain that there aren't enough hours in the day, and yet these are some of the same people that are spending, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours just going through, Twitter, Facebook, Meta, whatever. So I think limit the time that you're on it. And I talked about 4 ways that social media potentially increases a person's level of entitlement, and I want to just talk quickly about being aware of that and understanding that is a potential for it to happen, and that could happen to loved ones. So keep an eye out on that, and then maybe you can, if they are starting to become entitled, maybe you can be the one to say, hey, let's take a break from social media. Let's do a challenge. Why don't we see who can be on social media at least every day? That type of thing. So those 4 categories is the algorithm and echo chamber, self-presentation and validation, comparison and envy, and lastly, reinforcement of self-centered behaviors. So, the algorithm and echo chambers. I talked about in this last video. If you go on YouTube, start a brand new account, and only search dog videos, you're going to see dog videos, and you're going to see other animal videos suggested for you. That's the algorithm trying to, personalize your content based on what you're looking at. Now, algorithms can do a large spectrum of things, and some things have been admitted lately about some of the algorithms and what they actually show you. So on one end of the spectrum, algorithms just try to personalize your content for what's best for you, and on the other side of that spectrum, algorithms are showing you what they want to show you. and you got to realize that maybe they're doing that for a reason. I forget which one it said, but I was reading that one of the social media sites will show you things that will make you angry to get a reaction out of you, because the reaction, it's good to get people angry. It's good to have people like reacting to it and staying on the people tend to stay on social media a little longer if they're countering against something because they're angry about whatever they've just seen. So you gotta realize that that's potentially what they're doing. To me, it's a form of manipulation. It's one of the reasons I've never had social media. The other thing that this can do is cause echo chambers. To go back to my dog example on YouTube, that's a pretty lighthearted one, but what if you're just looking at conspiracy theories? What if you're just looking at flat earth evidence? That creates more of an echo chamber for that topic, and all you're being suggested are videos that are, proving your side, but you're not really being suggested as many videos that are proving the opposite, because you're not going to look at those, so why would they suggest them? And that echo chamber makes you think that everything I'm seeing says I'm right, so I must be right, but that's a fallacy. That idea is a fallacy. There's other stuff out there, you're just not searching and looking for it. So that can be a problem, and that can make people entitled. Second, self-presentation and validation. A lot of people, and you know what, I will admit this too, on this YouTube channel, I get a little message. I turned it off so I don't get like a ding when it happens, but I get an email saying someone's commented on your video, and I go in and check what it is, and I want to generally see positive feedback. I want to see that people are connecting with what I'm saying, and they think I'm doing at least a decent job. So that one even gets me. Now, that being said, I've made rules for myself where it's like what I release is going to be what I want to talk about. Maybe you're interested in that, maybe you're not. If you're not, I get it. Don't watch it. I'm good with that. I get that, and I'm good with it. I have people that I'm subscribed to on YouTube, and sometimes I watch their stuff, and sometimes I don't, based on what they're talking about or what they're, whatever it is. So that validation can really kind of push someone to want to, yes. Now, don't get me wrong. I love positive validations. I also actually love criticism, but constructive criticism. I don't care so much if someone calls me an idiot, as long as they have a reason for calling me the idiot that maybe I can work on to be less of an idiot. That's just how I've always been. Like, if you have something, and there have been some criticisms on some of my videos, and they were very fair criticisms, and I looked at them and I'm like, yeah, no, they're right. And it's helped me get better at what I do. If you only get positive feedback, how can you get better because you think you're doing better already? So that's one way that I kind of balance that entitlement for myself. Maybe you can do that too, and understand that just because you're getting positive feedback online doesn't mean you're going to get it in the same way like out in the street. They are two different animals. They're two different beasts, as it were. So be very cautious about that. Also realize that people are only showing the best online. They're not sure. There are some people who do, and I actually applaud them for doing this. There are some people that will not put filters on their photos or their videos. They're not photoshopping. They're like, hey, this is me. Oh, look, I just stepped outside and it started raining. I'm all wet. Like, it's very rare. It's admittedly very, very rare because everyone wants to pretend like they have a perfect life, but life isn't perfect. It's like I said in the last video, the influencer that takes, just got out of bed and they have perfect hair and their makeup's all done and it's like 2 to 3 hours of preparing just to take that one photo. That's not reality. It's just not. And that leads into the next area, which is comparison and envy. If you're seeing people who have the quote-unquote perfect life, or at least the perfect life that they're showing you, because it's not legitimately a perfect life, you can get envious of that. The best way I've talked to multiple people about this who have social media. I've talked to lots of people about this, actually, because I think everyone falls into this trap a little bit, where they're like, first of all, it's really the only person you should compare yourself to is you. Never fall into the trap of comparing you to anyone else. You don't know, you have not had the same path in life as they have. So, I don't know, I'll use a crazy example here, right? But let's say their parents were rich and they've got, like, I don't know, $10,000 a month that they're given to spend on stuff. They're going to have more stuff than you, so why are you judging, they have more stuff than me, that's not fair, my life is horrible. That doesn't mean your life is horrible. I know lots of people with lots of stuff that aren't happy right now. And I know people that don't have much that are much, much happier. I don't personally think success should be defined by how many toys you have or how much money you have in a bank or wherever you have your money. I think there's way more important things that we should judge success on, personally. So, number one, if you're seeing someone and they have the quote-unquote perfect life, they're on the yacht, they're, whatever, they're in whatever, on whatever perfect beach somewhere in the world, tell yourself this. When they wake up in the morning, their hair is just as messed up as mine is. Now, admittedly, it's hard to mess up this amount of hair. Although sometimes, some days, you'd be amazed. It was only just getting slightly longer than this, and I decided to buzz it back down because I was starting to get bedhead. It was starting to push up in weird spots when I woke up. So, I decided to buzz it back again. But, I mean, everyone goes through that. Everyone deals with that. Everyone, goes to the washroom every day, sometimes multiple times a day. It is what it is, We're all people. We're not perfect. We're not perfect people. Let's just accept that we're not perfect. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. If you want to compare yourself to anyone, compare yourself to you from the past. Okay, I did this last week. What am I going to do to be better this week? Or even, I did this yesterday. What am I going to do to have a better day today? That is a great way to slowly, incrementally get better and better and better and better. That is a technique that I actually use, especially in certain circumstances. So that's a good thing to remember. And lastly, it reinforces self-centered behaviors because it focuses on you and you're the main focus on your page generally, especially on something like Facebook or Meta now, I guess, or like Twitter. People are responding to your tweets. That's what you're generally seeing. You might see other people's tweets too that you respond to, but then that's you responding. So again, you're still centered. It basically makes you think you have more of a sway on the world than what you generally do. It's not like that. Out on the street, it's not like that. Someone doesn't care while you're walking on the street. If you bought a new dress, they're just trying to get from point A to point B generally. So take the ego out of it. Again, these things are hard if you're already entitled. I'm actually going to do a video about how to get entitled people to be less entitled or to stop being entitled completely. I believe that's going to be the next video I do. Unfortunately, I think that really social media, if you're entitled and you're on social media, it's not too late, but it's very, very hard to change that attitude. Like I said right at the beginning, you've got to do, if you are a person that knows a person like that, you have to do things to try and help them because they're not going to be able to see it themselves. So, like I suggested before, say it's a family member or a loved one. Hey, let's take a break from social media. Let's do a challenge. Let's see if we can survive a week without it. You know, just to kind of, or hey, I bet I can be on social media less than you. I was only on for an hour today. I bet you can't do less than that. Stuff like that to try and reduce that impact and decrease the amount of entitlement that comes from that. I think that's a good starting point, and I think with what I'm going to talk about in the next video, which I believe is going to come out next week, because I think this one's being posted on Friday. So yeah, I'm getting all confused because my times are different than your time seeing this. So yes, I believe this video will be posted on a Friday. That video will be Monday, and so I will see you then, and until then, I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.